Hey everyone, this is Dr. Belinda Wilkerson from Steps to the Future, welcoming you to Quality Conversations. Want to be a chef? As you know, I've been doing these conversations for a while now, and I think it's probably one of the most fun things that I get to do during my work life is to introduce you to people who are successes in their careers and let them have an opportunity to tell you a little bit about their career pathway, how they got to where they are, and just some of the challenges they had and other information they would love to share with you. I am so pleased tonight to have with us as our guest, Chef Lou Irizarry. Chef Lou is a 20-year Army veteran. He is also a graduate of Fayetteville Technical Community College with an associate's degree in applied science in culinary arts and restaurant and hotel management. Chef Lou, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me, Dr. Wilkerson.
You are so welcome. So tell me a little bit about how you went from being a military guy to being one of the most well-loved chefs in this area.
Well, thank you so much. I retired after 20 years in the military back in 2006. And, go back a little bit. I had a restaurant in New Jersey back in 98 when I was still on active duty. I was lucky enough to be stationed at home in New Jersey. So my mom and family members were able to help me open a restaurant. It was called Jordan's Spanish and Southern Cafe in Neptune, New Jersey, back in 1998. So I got my first taste of the restaurant business while I was still on active duty. Then we got moved and came back to Fort Bragg, and I retired in 2006. And I didn't know what I was going to do. I knew I was going to retire. I was ready to retire from the military and do something different. So I retired, and after about 2 years, about 2008, I attended Fayetteville Tech Community College, where I completed the culinary course, the hospitality course, and so forth, and the business administration degree. So kind of put me back in the restaurant field, food industry, say.
Okay. Tell me a little bit about some of the coursework that you had to take at Fayetteville Tech.
Well, I started with Fayetteville Tech prior to retiring. I was working on my business administration. I was going to night school and trying to complete that because I wasn't really sure what I really wanted to do when I retired. Just like I'm the type of person, I put all options on the table. I just don't know which way it's going to go. So basically just completed that. And then, I completed that. Once I retired, I completed that. And then I thought to myself, I was like, do I need to go to a four-year college? Well, I already made my mind up. I want to be an entrepreneur. So I told my wife, I said, I don't think I'm going to go work for anyone else. Again, I'll tell you what, I'm going to go to culinary school because that'll benefit me at home too. We'll eat good at home too. But I already knew how to cook. Learned a lot from my mom. And just self-taught. And then, so I went to culinary school and kind of learned the ropes in the restaurant business. And then what I learned was that I was doing a lot of things back in 98 that they were teaching me in school as far as marketing, menu design, just operations of a restaurant, and didn't know anything about a restaurant back in 98. So I was kind of excited about that. I was like, wait a minute, I did that. And it was teaching me these things. So it kind of brushed and gave me a better view as to starting a restaurant business.
All right, that sounds good. You've got a lot of fans out there. Who's that? Raymond Palmer. You have Kathy Taylor Spencer, and hey, Shahara, how are you doing? They're all great fans of yours, Chef Lou. So you're obviously out there doing something right because you're getting a lot of love out there from folks. So tell me about your businesses. So you went to culinary school, you got your degree. How did you get your start?
After having a restaurant in 98, I discussed it over with the wife and I said, the long hours, there's long hours in the restaurant business. And we all know that. You really have to have a passion for what you do before you get into a restaurant business. It's a lot of work and dedication that goes into that. So I decided to just open up a catering company and thought about having a food truck. Well, I was in search of a kitchen because you need a commercial kitchen to do either one. And that's when we found our location that we're currently at now for about over 10 years in Trey Street in Hope Mills. And somehow or another, as I'm renovating the place, everybody kept telling me, hey, Chef, you should open up a restaurant. And so I ended up opening a cafe on Trey Street. And so that went on for about 8 years.
Okay. So tell me about what it was like running the restaurant on Trade Street. What were some of the challenges?
Oh, wow. Challenges, well, they always say location for restaurants is very important. As we all know, Trade Street is not on the path of Main Street, so it's kind of hid on the side. So if someone can tell you where the good breakfast or the good lunch is, you won't find it just driving by.
Okay.
So that was a challenge as far as marketing our place. But remember, I got that place with no intention to open a restaurant. I wanted a commercial kitchen to run our catering operation out of. But it was a success. We was there for 8 years. We made a lot of friends, and that's the part I miss the most is having great conversation and just meeting so many different folks that used to come in the restaurant. That's what I miss the most.
Okay. So what made you leave Trade Street?
Well, no, we're still there. What happened 4 years now, we closed the restaurant and just focus on our catering company. Because at the time the catering company just took off, and running a big catering company and running a restaurant is a lot on your plate. It is a lot. So I didn't want to spread myself that thin. So I said, well, you know what? We're just going to concentrate on the catering. And that's when I bought out my food truck.
Okay.
But the heat here in North Carolina of the food trucks is challenging.
Challenging. So that's one of the most challenging parts of having the food truck is the heat?
Yes, the heat. It's very, very hot in there. It's the size is challenging. Okay, you can only carry but so much on your food truck. So those are some of the challenges in having a food truck. You can only carry but so much. But it's a great thing. I love the food truck. Just don't wait till it cools off a little more.
Exactly. So tell me about your catering business. Pre-COVID.
Oh wow. Well, pre-COVID, we was catering all over Fayetteville. We're well known in all the venues in Fayetteville. Those are that go to Botanical Gardens or the Skyview, Studio 215. We're preferred caterers in those venues, along with some of the other caterers. And so everyone knows me when I go to any of these places.
Okay.
That's a good thing.
So tell me a little bit about what it's like. So you're the chef and, creating the recipes and what have you, but you have employees. Tell me about that part of the business, about the challenge of working with employees.
Well, it's a big challenge. And so I don't do this all by myself. I have my wife, Edna, who wears many hats, as hats as I wear. We wear multiple hats. I'm the executive chef. I could be the maintenance man one day. I can be the manager. We wear so many hats and we make it happen. But I would never be able to do that by myself. Okay. So Edna helps me a lot. So it's teamwork. It has to be teamwork. It's just way too much.
I think it's so important that you stress that, because most of us just see the outside of what happens in the food business. We don't see what's going on behind the scenes. So knowing that, Edna's there, that she has your back, that you have the strong partnership making this work, I don't think people understand how important that is to be a success. and the number of hours that goes into doing this. This isn't like a 9 to 5. So what would a typical busy day look like for you?
Well, typical busy day. Our restaurant was only open from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. So we did breakfast and lunch. And so a typical Saturday will be like going in at 7 o'clock, 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning, get ready for breakfast to open up. It'll be busy all day long to 2 o'clock. We close the restaurant down, then I go across the street to the catering kitchen, and we're getting ready to go cater a 200 guest wedding. And so I left the house at 6:30 that morning. I'll probably make it home by midnight. So very long hours sometimes. Once again, I'm talking about the catering and the restaurant. I only did breakfast and lunch. So imagine those folks who have a restaurant that's open for breakfast and lunch and dinner, or lunch and dinner. Those are very long days, and you just can't focus on the operating hours that you're open, because you have to get there prior to and prep and get ready to open, and then you have to work past closing hours to get ready for the next day.
That is so
There's
true.
a lot of work. Yes.
Yes. So tell me, with that, so now you also have another venture at the Botanical Gardens.
Yes.
So how did that come about?
Well, we're one of the preferred caterers at the Botanical Gardens, so we have a really good relationship with them, and we've been there for quite some time. And just the idea came up, and with the past director, she's no longer there, Adriana left, but it was her and Sheila who's still there. She's also one of the other directors. They offered us to open up a deli at the garden. I said, well, that sounds like a good idea. Let's put something together. So Ann and I, we got together, we came up with a menu, an idea, and we just opened it up. We opened it up last November, and then we shut down when this COVID-19 all kicked off. We had to shut it down for a while in phase 1, but we're back open for right now, and it's just been great. It's been great down there.
Okay. So we have quite a few folks out there watching. So folks, if you have a question or a comment that you want to make to Chef Lou, please throw it out there. For those of you that have just joined us, we have Chef Lou Irizarry here with us, probably one of the most well-known chefs in the Fayetteville, Cumberland County area. I mean, if you haven't had any of Chef Lou's food, you're really, really missing out. Next time you know that he's either at the deli or doing something with the truck, or when everything gets back to even footing, he's back out there catering, you need to make sure that you grab one of his plates, because I mean, one of my favorites is your lemon pepper chicken wings and some other things. So there are a couple of items that I really like. So Chef Lou, tell me a little bit about what advice would you give to people who want to not only be a chef, but to be an entrepreneur in this field?
Well, have a plan. You just can't say you're going to open up a restaurant. And what I've seen in the past is they do it backwards. And what I mean by that is I see a lot of restaurants opening up. They get these business loans, these large business loans, and they get all this shiny equipment, and then they work on what kind of food they're going to sell. So that's kind of backwards to me. You need to find out what your menu is going to be. That dictates what equipment you're going to need and so forth, how much space you're going to need, and you do it that way, because I've done it the hard. I didn't go get any business loan. I just pieced it together as best as I could, and it all kind of worked out.
Okay. All right. You have a comment here from Sharifa Johnson. She says your empanadas are the bomb. So you got your fans out there, Chef Lou.
Yeah, that's family. That's family there. She's probably gonna call me later to see if I have any available.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So I like that, talking about people need to have a plan, because so often, like you said, you get this idea and you just run out there head first thinking, all right,
Yes.
I can do this, because folks like you, they look at what you're doing and they see your success and just automatically think, oh, well, I can do that. without knowing the steps that you took about, the days, the nights that you and Edna spent planning this out to make sure that it was successful. You didn't just do it one day and say, hey, let's do this truck and go and not have that plan in place. So that is so, so important that you mentioned that. So because you went to Fayetteville Tech for your degree, would you recommend that program for other students that were thinking about starting in this business?
Absolutely. Fayetteville Technical Community College has a wonderful program over there at the school, and I would definitely say yes to attend that school. It's a good school, and they got good instructors over there. Actually, that's one of my resources. I still keep in contact with the school, so when I do large events and stuff like that, I go recruit at the school for servers or some kitchen help and stuff like that, because we keep a minimum staff on hand. However, when I get an event for 400, 500, 600 guests, I need additional help. So I go over to the instructors, over to the school, and they got some really good students over there that you're going to go into the culinary training.
Right. So that so here's a great point that you just made, the importance of using your network to help you continue to be successful. So you've created that network from Fayetteville Tech first as a student, and then now going back either doing events with them or using that department as a place to help you find employees to continue doing these events. I think it's so important for young folks to understand the importance of networking.
Yes.
Because none of us are out here doing any of this by ourselves. So tell me, with that also, what other types of networking, marketing type things have you had to do in order to grow your business?
Well, one of the reasons, like I mentioned earlier, the restaurant, you would not believe the networking that happened in the dining room. I meet all kind of folks with very different backgrounds, different businesses, and you make those connections and relationships, and they last for a long time. So that's helped me a lot, and I kind of miss that a whole lot. Having the dining room, it wasn't about the money or like that. It was about the networking, which was more important to me than anything else, because that's what kept me afloat with as far as business goes.
Right. And it's having those relationships with people, because then they become more than just customers. These are people you get to know. You get to know about their lives. You get to know what their favorite foods are.
Right. Yes.
And we know that being able to communicate with people through food is like a gift.
It works.
Yeah,
it works. My wife says all the time, Edna says all the time that you just talk to everybody. You just talk to anybody. You don't know who you're talking to. That's right. So I'm trying to get to know this person. I could be at Home Depot or whatever. I can strike up a conversation and, I didn't know you did that. So it's a relationship. You're just networking. It works good for me.
And I think that's such a strong part of marketing, because you can't sell to somebody if they don't know, like, and trust you. And I don't think I've met anybody in Fayetteville since I've lived in this area that don't know you, that don't like you, and that don't trust you. So your reputation precedes you, no matter where you are. I know sometimes I'll see a posting on Facebook where somebody's looking for something, and I see Elite Catering recommended. So you definitely have made an impression on people, not just with your food, but with your personality. And this is Jude Johnson says, Lou never meets a stranger, and he's got jokes.
That's my cousin.
Okay, so she knows that you have those jokes. So how would you, if you had to mentor someone that was going into this business, what would that look like? Would they be with you, like shadowing you during the day? How would you help someone learn this business if you were working with them?
Well, we get people all the time that are trying to start either a food truck or a restaurant or thinking about catering, and they come to us, and I just sit them down and I tell them what I've been through and some of the experiences, and try to guide them through and give them ideas of how to get started. Because some of them, they just know they just want to open a restaurant. They don't have remember we said the plan. They don't have a plan. I asked them first thing, well, what kind of food are you going to sell, or what kind of menu do you have? Oh, we didn't get to that part yet. So how do you think you're ready to open up a restaurant or anything? So I got students that work for me. Well, they were past students at Fayetteville Tech, and they work for me for. I have one that's been with me like almost 10 years.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
So we have a comment here from Alan Dover. He said you was his student once, and he said you're right in so many ways, and you're also a fellow veteran. So
Yeah.
again, get some shout outs there. So that's definitely good. Thank you, Alan, for making that comment. I appreciate everybody that's making comments, because it's so important that we celebrate people for who they are and what they do and how they make us feel. And we know that Chef Lou is definitely someone that makes us feel good. We've got another comment here from Barnisha, who says he has taught me so much in this industry.
That's Barnisha, yes. She also is a food truck owner. Baban's Fried Chicken. That's Barnisha.
Okay.
Yes. She's also uses our kitchen as a commissary, so we try to help them as well. Mr. Alan Dover, that's Chef Dover from Fayetteville Tech. He's one of the instructors over there at Fayetteville Tech Community College. Good friend of mine.
So thank you, Chef Dover, for helping us get Lou out here, because I'm telling you, I don't know what Fayetteville would be like without Chef Lou around us. So what's your favorite dish to cook?
Oh, wow. My background, so I'm from Puerto Rico, so I like the Spanish dishes. I love cooking the Spanish dishes. They were the first ones I learned how to cook from my mom. So I do more of Puerto Rican dishes. However, I can cook Italian. The other day we had a tasting at the restaurant. We did hibachi. I just like to think out the box sometimes and just cook different meals, different stuff. So they're a favorite one. I don't know. I probably give you a list.
Okay. Yeah, you probably have so many.
Yeah.
You have so many. So do you ever get special requests from people for a particular dish?
Yes, sometimes. So when we direct them to our web page, where you can put so many out there, so many dishes out there. So I tell them I'm not only limited to that. If you have an idea, just let me know.
Okay.
And we can do it. So I had a young lady come to me one time with the Virgin Islands. Was that the Virgin Islands stewed chicken? They make it a little different over there. And so I had to mess around with that recipe. And she came in and she said it tastes like my mom made it. I was okay, good.
Yeah, that's a high compliment. So you have a comment here from Dina. She must be, your rice must be something good, because she's singing praises for your rice out here.
Yeah, she's probably referring to the Spanish yellow rice with the pigeon peas that it's one of the staples in Puerto Rico that we make. Ajo con gandules. She loves that.
Oh,
that's my niece.
That sounds absolutely wonderful. So when you're home, who does the cooking?
You're gonna be surprised with this. We don't do that much cooking at home. But if my wife will cook sometimes, but I do most of the cooking. But we don't cook every day. Everyone thinks that my mom just responded on there.
Yeah.
I do most of the cooking, but with the schedule that I mentioned to you earlier, we get home and we're so tired. We're always on the go. It's always on the go. We're eating down at the catering kitchen. We grab something to eat real quick, and we're moving. So there is no time unless we're having a weekend when we got family coming over, and I'll cook up a big old dinner, and everyone comes over. But during the week, you might not get a dinner over here at home.
Okay. So Ms. Vargas, thank you so much for giving us Lou. This is great. And we have another comment from Jude. She said, your food is so good and you can cook anything. Anything.
Thank you, cousin. Yeah.
You're definitely getting a lot of love here tonight. And then Alan joined in and he said that as a chef, he doesn't cook much at home either. And when he does, pretty simple.
There you go. That's exactly what we do here. We keep it simple and just make something simple. Unless we have family coming over, then I'll go all out and make bread and everything.
Can I be like honorary family every now and then?
The next time we have a big feast, I'll invite you.
Okay. So when you go out to eat, where do you like to eat? Do you have a favorite place or a favorite type of food that you like to go out to eat? Or do you just try a little bit of everything to see?
I try a little of everything. One of my spots that I like is the Indian restaurant over there on Skybo, Tandoori Bites.
Okay.
Very, very good. I like the Indian food. I don't like it too spicy though, but Saigon Bistro on Bragg Boulevard is another good one. I go occasionally. My guys down there, Fowler's, they got some really good chicken down there.
They do.
Yeah, that's good. You've been to Fowler's. Yeah, those guys are doing an amazing job down there. So their chicken is very, very good.
Okay. This is great. So he likes a dirty water hot dog as much as the last guy. Thank you for that. And he's also commenting on Tandoori Bites and said, yeah, that's what and also Fowler's. So that's really good. So Lou, with all of this going on and all the work that you're doing, how are you pivoting during this time of coronavirus or COVID?
Yeah, the catering, of course, has come to basically a halt. We had a lot of cancellations back in March and May and June, just a lot of cancellations and weddings and stuff like that because of the situation with COVID-19. So we've done a lot of refunds and stuff like that, and it just come to a halt. There's no large gatherings, and so what we've done is I'm doing home improvements for my wife. My wife, she's a realtor. And as a realtor now, and she's selling houses. That's one thing has not slowed down with COVID-19. These houses are not lasting at all. So I go back to what I used to do before I got back into the food business. I do some home repairs and stuff like that. So just to get out the house and stay busy.
Right.
That's what I'm doing right now, and it's okay. But the COVID-19 was, like I mentioned earlier, it was a little break to kind of slow down a little bit, do some thinking and regrouping and stuff like that, replanning some of the things we do. So it's been good. Get to enjoy my cup of coffee in the morning without running out and doing 100 miles an hour to go cater and get back home at midnight. So
I know, because I would see you out and about, and you were always on the move. And Edna too. Edna walks so fast.
Well, if you see me, you see her. So
exactly. I said, you are two of the hottest working people that I know in Fayetteville, in Cumberland County, because you're always moving, you're always out and about. So what are you doing for self-care? How are you taking care of yourself mentally and physically during all of this?
Well, all we can do is really stay safe and take it one day at a time. We don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. So it's just been a really crazy year. Yes. This 2020 has been throwing us for a loop. We don't even know what the normal is going to be. We don't have no idea. So it's just kind of a waiting game and trying to stay kind of safe, but also busy as best we can. that Alan wrote again.
He's saying that COVID-19 has devastated the industry, and that because you've been able to survive is a tribute to you and your team.
Thank you, Chef. Yes.
Definitely.
Well, it's when you're in business, you can't plan for these situations, but you could kind of put yourself in a position where if something happens, you can kind of weather the storm. May I say?
Okay.
And that's what we've done. We just take it day by day, and see what's coming next.
Okay. So what are you doing for enjoyment other than helping Edna fix up?
I'm getting some rest.
Good.
Yes, I'm getting some rest, and I spent some time down at the catering kitchen, organizing, just moving stuff and just cleaning stuff and just getting ready so that when we get back into whatever normal is going to be, that we're operational and ready to go. So I'm just like, I took the whole food truck apart and put it back together, and I'm going to put a new name on it, rebrand it. So I got time to really think and plan for some upcoming stuff. Yeah.
Okay. So, have you picked up any new hobbies or anything along the way?
I got my head on right here, as y'all can see. It's back in January, I started flying. I'm trying to get my private pilot license. So I'm attending out at Cape Fear Aviation. And then COVID-19 hit, so we kind of put that on pause for a little bit. So once we get back to whatever the normal is going to be, I'll get back out there flying. I'm going to get that license.
Okay.
It's the personal thing I want to do.
That is so good. So we have a comment here from Carlos Irizarry. He says, Carlos, Nisha, and Sage are proud of your success.
That's family up in New Jersey. Okay. It's my brother and his family.
Thank you, family, for joining, because and thank you for sharing him with us, because I'm telling you, that's been one of my highlights of living here is getting to know you and Edna, because I mean, I don't think there's anybody that doesn't know you two. I mean, you really are. You're kind of like the ambassadors for Cumberland County. Like, everybody knows you two. So what other advice or what else would you want to say to someone that's thinking about going into this business?
The most important thing, and I keep going back to it because I did it myself, and have a plan and ask for help. Some folks that have come to us because they were given my name. I would help you. If you're trying to start a food truck or you're thinking about opening a restaurant, you're more than welcome to contact us. We will sit with you and try to give you all the information that you can have or use to do whatever you're trying to do. I built my own food truck. Some folks, they go out there and once again, get this big old loan and get a big old shiny, pretty food truck. And so now you're in debt before you sell one little sandwich.
Right.
So you got to be really smart and use your resources in planning what you're trying to do. And we don't push back nobody. I love talking to people. So if they want to come by and talk to me about open up a food truck or whatever, I'm more than happy to guide them. And I do have like 2 or 3 people that I'm doing that with already as well.
Okay. So you're out there mentoring people. You've got proteges. I mean, that's really good. So we have a comment here from Debelina. Oh, Debelina, thank you for coming in. She says, do you have any advice for a small business owner who is single and dependent on the income from that business? The small business is a cafe and sweet desserts.
Yeah. So I'm reading the comment. Small business in a cafe and sweet desserts. Stay small. Some folks, they want to go in and get the largest building that there is to start a business. You always want to start small. When I started my cafe, it was I had 7 small tables in there. It was very, very small, but people love that. And I can maintain that space. So you got to be prepared for when it's not busy. Specialized items that you're going to do. Just different. You want to be a little different than the next cafe.
Okay.
Something, not completely different. It's something you got to have in there that you can only get at that cafe. So,
okay, something where you're differentiating yourself from the next person.
Right, but I mean, and it doesn't have to be the whole menu. Just 2 things on the menu. What did he say?
So Alan is saying that he would argue that the most important thing one must have is passion. If you have passion, planning will follow. If you don't have passion, it won't.
Well, Chef Allen has hit it right on the nail, right on the head. We had that discussion before too. And I mentioned earlier, if you have no passion, this will not work. He is very, very right with that. If you're in it for just to get the money and chase the money, you're going to make all this money, think you're going to sell this food. You're wrong. You're wrong. Focus on the quality, and quantity will always follow.
Okay. All right. So we have another comment here. A lot of family out here. Chef Lou is my nephew. He has always been funny and a loving person, but at the same time focused and determined. He and Edna are a great team. So like I said, you've got a lot of fans out there. That's
perfect. My Aunt Millie. Thank you, Aunt Millie.
Yes. Yes. I mean, the comments are coming in from Mary Johnson, Chef Lou, and Mrs. Edna. Such a joy to work with. So professional and kind-hearted.
Okay, that's Mary Johnson. You have to taste her cakes.
Really?
She makes my cakes out there at the garden. So if you come out to the garden, Mary makes the best cakes ever.
Okay.
Yeah, so she does our cakes at the deli.
Okay.
Big shout out to Mary. What's the
Miss Ruthie doing it?
Miss Ruthie is doing it. That's that's the name of the company.
Okay, so we know that. So we have another question from Debelina. She said, any special instructions for small businesses during COVID-19?
Wow. With all the restrictions that we have now, and I don't think it's getting any better anytime soon. It's like cases are, So cafe like me, you can also do online ordering, meals. I have a nephew, Elite Catering in New Jersey, who does online ordering for meals to go. And I just spoke to him the other night. He was doing 200 plus meals to deliver. And he said that is working really good for him. So online ordering, prep meals to go, is working pretty good.
Okay. So Debelina, that's something to do, looking about, how to utilize the online portion. Because I know everybody's doing everything online. Poor UPS and FedEx trucker at my house seems like every other day. Because I'm not out in the stores. So that's how you do things. So Alita Vargas is saying that I'm so proud of you, hoping this pandemic goes away so I can visit you guys. So again, you've got another fan out there who really loves your food and is a real fan of yours. And Debelina says, thank you for the advice, because that really helps her out a lot.
And Debelina, you can feel free to contact us. If you go to our website, EliteCateringNC.com, our numbers are out there. So if you want to give us a call and want to come by and chat or whatever, feel free to do so.
Okay. Debelina, I'll make sure that I put their website in the show notes so people will have that information, because I think that's so important. So one of the things, like, I always knew you were a good guy, but now I get to hear just how big of a heart you have. And I think that's such a huge part of your success, because you're willing to give a hand up. And not a lot of people do that. And you do it so willingly, and it seems like with such joy. It's like someone else's success is also your success.
Yes.
And I love seeing that. So I thank you for that, because that was great for me, getting to learn about that piece about you. I always kind of thought it, but now I get to hear it, get to see the comments that people are putting up. So again, thank you so much, Chef Lou, for all that you're doing, because I don't know what Fayetteville would be without you. It would be, it seems, I feel, when I'm downtown, I'm just so used to seeing you and Edna running about doing something, and it just feels so weird not seeing you two out there and about. So I know I'm looking forward to the day when I see the truck going by, or I see Edna walking 1,000 miles an hour, because she moves when she's working.
Yes, he does. We both stay moving all the time.
Yes, definitely. So one of the things I want to do, folks, and Chef, just hold on. So one of the things I like to do, folks, is to always just introduce a book that I think might be of interest to folks who are either starting their careers, or whether it has something to do with college admissions. So the book that I just want to focus on today is called Some Assembly Required, a Networking Guide for Graduates. And I think in listening to Chef Lou tonight, one of the things that you probably realize is that his ability to network with a variety of people is also part of his success. So people would think of networking, oh my God, I got to get out there and network. But networking really is about building relationships. And Chef Lou, in his talk this evening, was able to show us that, how you build that relationship. And you could also tell from the comments that people were putting in that he's so great. He's such a people person. And you have to, like, again, he's got the passion, he's got the people skills. Chef Dover is saying that you've always empowered others, including his current and former students. And it's so great to reach back and help others. That's a testament to your success. That really is.
That means a lot to me.
Yes. So I know we are all waiting for us to get into the next phase of whatever this is going to bring us, so that whatever our lives are going to be, we can start normalizing some things. I don't think it'll ever go back the way it was, but we've got to get our life back. It's coming. It's coming. So any last words, Chef Lou, before we say goodbye to our audience?
You kind of was breaking up a little bit. What was the last?
Any last words for our audience?
Well, I want everyone to stay safe. It's no rush to get back out there. When it's time to get back out there and do what we do best. But in the meantime, and this is a good time right now. You got all the time now to work on your business plan. If you have any questions or anything like that, feel free to give us a call. We'll be more than happy to help you out in any way we can. And we're a firm believer of helping folks. When I didn't mention this earlier though, when I first was going to do the food truck back in 2007, I would have probably been the first food truck in Fayetteville. So you needed a commissary, which I wasn't aware of. And I used to go to these restaurants to try to work something out, to rent out some kitchen space. And they would look at me like I was an alien. Like I was like, no, you're crazy. You can't do that. So this is why we open up our doors to some of the food trucks that are trying to get started and let them use our kitchen and rent our kitchen out at Trade Street. So I do have 2 or 3 food trucks that use us now as a commissary. So what I went through, I don't want no one else to go through, and that's it.
That is so important, being able to share of your skills and talents and resources like that. I think so many people think, oh, that's my competitor, or that person's going to take business away from me. There's so much business out there. I mean, when you go in the store to buy a loaf of bread, is there one brand of bread out there? No.
Exactly. And Dr. Wilkinson, I would say this, that like my catering company, some folks will come to me and say, well, so-and-so is your competition. I have no competition. we do what we do and we do it the best we can. Folks are going to choose where they want to go, as well as those cafes and those restaurants that are out there. It's how you treat people. You can have good food, but if you don't have a good service and you don't treat people the way they deserve to be treated, they're not going to come. So we're a firm believer about that. So
that is so true. We've got another person that joined us, Tyra Telka Mason, said, "Hey, Dr. B and Chef Lou."
Okay.
So hi, Tyra. Thank you for joining in. And another comment from Alan. He said, "You're doing the Lord's work, Lou."
Thanks, Chef.
Yeah. So, I mean, you're out there helping people. I don't think people generally know, again, how much you're out there helping other folks get started. And this is that is like so important. I can't stress that enough. I remember when I started my college and career counseling service business here in Fayetteville, I met a woman who was doing the same work. And we went out to lunch one day and I figured, okay, this is going to be great. We can have conversations. We had this fantastic lunch for 2 hours. And then I said, well, I can't wait till we meet again. And she said, oh, we're not going to meet again. You're competition. And I said, what? She said, we're not going to meet again. That was back in 2012. I have never seen her since then.
That's her loss.
Yes, it is.
That's where you look at that. And I don't look like, I always seen it like if all caterers or chefs or restaurant owners will come together so that we can share experiences. And how's it going on that side of town for you? Okay, well, we're doing this. I don't mind doing that. But there's not many people that do that with you. Yeah. It's all a competition, and that's great. I'll just stay at my little side over here and do what we do. But I would love to do something like that, to just share experiences and information. And everyone grows that way.
Exactly.
You know, they don't look at it that way. So I look at it as their loss. So it's fine.
You're so right. You're so right. It's all about sharing the wealth because there's enough out there. That's kind of why we're in this situation now in our country, because folks want to hold on to their little piece of the pie and not understand that when somebody else is successful, we're successful. That all, a rising tide lifts all boats.
It's enough for everyone.
Yeah, so true. So Chef Lou, so we have one more comment here. This is funny. Somebody says they'll take the vegetable medley that you So again, so people are throwing out what they want you to cook next time that they get around you. So
what makes me feel really good is my mom. She taught me how to cook a lot of Spanish dishes, and I love when she comes to visit because I learned other things to cook as far as Puerto Rican dishes and stuff like that. But I show her how to cook some things too. So I'm so happy with that. I teach her some things and she'll teach me how to make it. We'll be on the phone sometimes and doing FaceTime. I was like, okay, am I doing this right? And she's teaching me, and so I do the same thing to her. So I really miss my mom.
That's so good. Thank you, Ms. Vargas. We really appreciate that. Whatever you're teaching Lou.
She's one of my mentors.
Yes, exactly. And whatever she's teaching you definitely comes to us. So we love that. We love that so much. Well, I thank you so much for joining us this evening. This has been one of the most informative interviews I had the opportunity to do. And it's also been one of the most joyful. It's always nice to see people being celebrated for who they are and what they do. People will always remember you because of the way you make them feel. You already have great food, but I know anytime I see you, I just instantly want to start smiling because you just bring that out in people. You always have this vibe or this aura around you of just being joyful and happy to be where you are. So thank you for that, and thank you for the fantastic food. And I can't wait until Elite Catering is back on the road and we see you at different events and everything just turns around so that you can get back to doing one of the things that you do best and one of the things that we appreciate here.
Okay, well, Dr. Wilkinson, thank you so much for having us on. And call me back to come back on. I love doing these things here.
Okay.
Say thank you to everyone that came on the Facebook Live, all the great comments.
Yes.
And love all you guys, and everyone stay safe, please. We'll get through this, and hopefully we'll see everyone soon.
Okay, thank you so much. And folks, tune in every Monday night. Usually we'll do a college conversation. It may be an interview with someone as wonderful as Chef Lou, or you may just get me online talking about college and career counseling. So stay tuned next week. And this will be up on my YouTube channel within 24 to 36 hours.
Okay.
It's also on Steps to the Future's Facebook page. So again, thank you for everyone that joined in and showed a lot of love for Chef Lou, and we really appreciate that. And Chef Lou, thank you from the bottom of my heart for doing this. I really appreciate it.
Likewise. Thank you so much, Dr. Wilkerson.
Okay, and take care, everyone, and we'll see you next week. Just
Okay.
stay on, Chef Lou.
Okay.